all that energy,
Woo! Yeah, that.
all that energy totally pulled out of my ass because the most crushing defeat happened 30 seconds ago. Not 30. It was actually like 10 minutes
Yeah,
ago.
this is our second time recording because Drew fucked everything up.
I hit the space bar and it stopped at 20 minutes in. Hell yeah.
Fucking 50-minute recording gone to waste.
I think it was actually
All
like 45 minutes. So
45 minutes, 45-minute recording gone to waste. All of our best bits gone.
well,
So
I will say for the first 20 minutes, it's us like ramping up because
yeah,
I'm still tired as shit, but less so because I'm like stimulating my brain. Uh,
sure.
it was like the beginning was like awkward segue, dead silence every once in a while in between conversation. The whole
Yeah.
like question bit we had where it's like come up with 3 questions. It was a cool idea, but what happened was it was like I felt forced to like keep going even when my answer because I'm too dumb to come up with long spiels off the cuff
Hmm.
for, like questions like that. Like I get to the point too
Sure.
quickly. So
Sure.
so sorry. Whew. For us, we've already. This will be. I'm like, all the gas in my stomach decided to just
Yeah,
escape.
you're going through it right now.
I don't know why.
But we're warmed up now.
Yes,
We're ready to rock and roll.
this is this is actually a hidden blessing because instead of having that weird like awkward warm up phase,
Hmm.
we're already spicy and ready. It may not look like
Hell
it,
yeah.
but I have like this like cool lighting going on solely because this
Your
webcam's
stomach's a little
ass.
spicy right now. You're kind
I have some
of
acid reflex. Right, it's like
that's
like that, and I don't know why. Probably with the shitty. I had White Castle microwave burgers.
oh,
They were disgusting.
that's awful.
But I made them, so I had to eat them. So it's like fuck, damn
Sure.
it. Now I have to eat them. I'm not gonna throw it away just because it's gross. So I ate it. It's literally just also okay. For White Castle burgers, don't have onions on them.
Wow.
It's cabbage. It's cabbage that has onion flavoring to simulate onions because it's cheaper. Did you know that?
That's I I've never eaten a White Castle burger in my life,
The only thing
and I
on a White
don't
Castle
think I'm
burger is
ever going to.
onions. The only thing on it is onions and meat. No,
But
there's
not
sliders.
real
There's
onion.
sliders. But yeah, so like if you go to the restaurant, like it's a restaurant, it's a real place. If you go there, you can get like 2, 4, 6. You can get a like 24 if you want. It's a
Hmm.
big fucking case of burgers, and it's literally these little sliders with like meat that's like literally like 3 millimeters thick, maybe, and a bunch of onions on like a Hawaiian roll. Shit probably costs 30 cents max. There's no way it costs above. It doesn't cost. It's definitely less than 2 quarters. Definitely. There's no way, and it's disgusting. And I had my dad loves them, so he buys the little microwave ones for like appetizers. Say it's like a football game, or yesterday they were watching like some bare knuckle fight on TV.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Your camera froze. Yes, I can hear you now.
Your camera froze for
Oh,
me
Discord
and audio.
Discord shit itself.
Yeah,
Okay, continue. What were you saying?
as usual. Yeah, no, I've never eaten White Castle, and I'm never going to
Good.
because that sounds horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
The best thing about White Castle is the Harold and Kumar movie
don't know what that
about them
is.
going to White Castle. You never seen Harold and Kumar go to White
I'm
Castle?
very uncultured.
It's 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 dated, but it's funny.
A lot of things are dated. That's just
Especially
time
comedy.
passes. Yeah.
Comedy is like because you make like with other genres of movie, you make it's not as dated of a concept with like horror movies or action movies or fantasy movies. That's shit that like will last because the concept of like horror is pretty universal. Same with like action movies and shit like that. But comedy, you have to make it catered towards what's funny at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's like if you go watch a comedy movie from even 4 years ago, it's going to be so different than what's funny now.
Yeah.
So yeah, comedy movies get really dated really easily. So
Before we go any further, we can easily, it could slip our mind because deja vu. I feel like I've been in this place before. We haven't introduced ourselves.
yes,
We have.
yes,
It's
we
one time
have.
already. You don't
Just
see it.
not to
You don't see it.
viewers that are going to see this.
Yeah. So would you introduce yourself?
I'm Adrian. I'm 21 years old. I'm a Libra and a recovering alcoholic and other not very funny memes.
I like the addition of the star sign, right? I'm Drew. I'm 21. I'm a Gemini.
Are
And
you really a Gemini?
yeah, May. And
That's
I
rough.
doesn't doesn't do anything. What do you mean?
It might.
No, it doesn't.
You don't know.
I do know.
Cheating.
I would bet my soul on it.
I
Uh,
don't believe in the existence of a soul.
oh, well, if there was one that
Hard
was
hitting.
there, I would bet it that it doesn't do anything. Anyways, am I
Don't
interesting?
don't get mad at me, people. I'm making the funny memes.
Funny
Don't
memes, funny memes.
I'm
I
gonna get
swear.
I'm gonna get put on an anti-Christian watch list
I'm
that
gonna
they're
say
not gonna.
I wanna. Okay. Anyway, my funny bit meme is that and I like. I have a skeleton sitting in a chair next to me.
And you
He's
like
right
long
there.
walks on the beach.
No, I don't. The beach sucks and it gets
And
sand everywhere and it's gross. I don't like it.
okay,
I don't like
Anakin
sand. It's
Skywalker.
coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere. I genuinely hate the beach, but yeah.
Well, I understand that. I get where you're coming from.
I I want to call back to a previous topic, but there are none because it doesn't exist. I
We'll release it at 100 subs.
It's
Just
gone. I
the 20
deleted it.
minutes.
I,
You
del- I
you
deleted it.
deleted
It's
it?
actually no. It's in the little trash bin, so I can actually pull it out of that if I wanted to.
Pull it out. We'll release it at 100
I
subs.
can't now because I'm not touching anything as to not
We'll do
ruin.
it. Do it
OBS
after.
is a fickle god. I don't know. It's fragile. It'll fucking die if I do anything different. So I'm not
Afterwards.
playing
Pull it
games.
out.
Yes, I will. I'll pull it because it stays there for like 13 days or something. Yeah, I'll pull it. I'll pull out. I wanted to call back. I don't know if we didn't do this in the 20 minutes. We're gonna keep referring to the 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Running gag. Our first merch. The 20-minute release. The 20 minutes.
I want to get to the level where we have merch. That'd be
I
cool.
love the idea of designing merch because I'm a fucking. I hate to admit it, but I love marketing. I love branding. I like logos. I like creating brands. When someone's like, I want to make YouTube, I start thinking of like, how is their branding gonna work? I immediately think of merch.
Yeah.
I immediately think of logos and gimmicks and bits and all that. But I'm gonna refer back to something that the viewers may actually know about, and that is I don't know if we talked about it in the 20 minutes, but we're gonna talk about it again if we did, and that's the sorry. There's a bubble. It's gonna come up while I'm talking, and it's gonna fucking sound stupid. The genesis of this whole concept we're doing, the Shamblecast episode, and I
Which, for the unaware, was Drew's previous
yeah, the
podcast.
one that I owned. Like, it's my thing. Like, I
Yeah.
was the host. I had guests on, and Adrian was a guest. So I was. You started watching it last night, and then you sang that you were. I watched the episode. So narcissistic of us. I like to see myself talk,
I
but
kind of do, though.
I literally, when I watched it, my eyes were locked on me, and I was, oh my god, I looked like an idiot. Oh my god, I said something stupid. Oh my god, I was so fat, and I still am. Oh my, but
You're
I,
not fat.
bro,
You're a bigger lad,
I'm
but you're not
built like
fat,
Pesci, bro. You don't know who Pesci is. Um,
Joe.
no, it's is it Pesci or Pecci? It's a character from a show, but
You're talking about Joe Pesci. He's
no,
like
not Joe
he's
Pesci.
he's he's. I think you're built like Joe Pesci too. Like he's slightly
I
bigger, but he's not like
I
fat.
may or may not know who. I don't know if I know what he looks like. I've heard the name, of course, but
Have you never seen like a Joe Pesci movie?
I probably have. But I'm bad with fit names. I'm really bad with names. I know faces like it's nobody's business, though.
Mm.
Anyways, jumping back to what we were talking about,
Sure.
I was when you brought up like comedy ages, I was watching it, and I'm not gonna lie to you. The first like 45 minutes of it are terrible. Like the best parts are like the last 20 minutes. Like the last 20 minutes I was laughing my ass off. The first big bit, like the first big chunk was like that was stupid. Oh, that was kind of lame. Oh, I can't believe I said that.
I think you're being slightly overly critical.
I, I like I'm looking at it with fresh eyes, and my
Sure.
fresh eyes say that I think I would tone down the beating your wife joke
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
tad. I
I think
thought I thought it was super funny, but I still think it's hilarious. But um for this podcast especially, I think that tone may be a little too raunchy because it got really bad. The
On that note, I'm gonna make a slight disclaimer that Drew doesn't find beating your wife a funny
no.
in itself. He just finds the bit that we were making
So I have to
funny.
explain the bit for anyone who haven't seen it. The bit
You should go watch it, by
was
the way. Link in the description.
if I remember to link it. The bit was like I can't even fucking remember. It was something to do with things that you do at your house that or no, it was why things are called. It started with why things are named the way they are. And I'm like,
Mhm.
who found the trend, the correlation to people beating their wives and the shirt they're wearing to refer to it as a wife beater?
Yeah,
Who found that correlation, which I think is an actual genuinely funny like joke is like who found that, like, that's funny. But then
yeah.
when we stretched it to the point of although it was hilarious, I feel, when I said that talk isn't for workplace, it's for the home. And then you said we're in your home.
No, that yeah. We ran with it and made it work, but boy howdy was that a bit much.
I'm just glad it didn't bomb really hard. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I say bomb hard like there was an audience. We had like I think 20 views, and most of them were like a minute long concurrent watch time. But
Hey, if you made it this far,
it was
thanks.
funny. Yeah. 14
Yeah.
minutes. Look
No,
at that.
like in the initial recording of that one, like towards the end of it, most of the bit that was like I was the good guy and you were just saying like awful shit to try to like
I
cause
just
a reaction or whatever.
yeah.
I felt like well, it's kind of funny. That was like that's a bit much for the podcast. Like let's tone that back just a bit,
Yeah.
you know?
It got to a point where I was like like that day, literally after we finished recording it, I was like, "Oh no. He thinks I'm an asshole." Like, I hope he knows. I'm like, I was just being like trying to ramp up the thing to make the bit
Yeah.
funny.
No, I
I
got you.
genuinely was concerned that like, oh my the mental image of me is damaged now because
Yeah.
I never make those jokes literally ever like to that scale
Hmm.
like ever. But that was the only time, and it was like it pull you lit when I literally in that episode I say you bring the worst out of me, and in that moment for some reason you were you being
I
in
don't
it was
I
you
don't know
being in
what
the
I did
room
wrong.
with me. It was you being in the room with me.
You know what I think what also made it worse? Like normally I'm like the asshole persona and you get to be the nice, well-managed person. And I was like I was trying to be really good and like PG for the audience and
Hmm.
like welcoming.
Yeah.
And you had to counterbalance that.
I think it's because at that time I was watching a lot of like on YouTube General Sam. I don't know if how you versed in YouTube you are, but he's a YouTube dude, and his humor is pretty much 100% raunch. And so I was like, that's peak comedy to me at that moment in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was channeling. But now I'm kind of like, still find those funny. But I'm not gonna lie, I chuckle a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the. I think we're gonna tone it down a bit for this one. Although
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I'll squirt. I'll squirt. I'll squirt a little bit in there.
Careful, bud. This is going on
I'll
YouTube.
inject a little bit of it in there, just a tad, just a kiss.
Just enough to keep
A little
audiences a little
sprinkle.
frisky.
Yeah, a little spicy.
You
Uh,
know,
but yeah,
goes have a little spice.
let's stop self-referencing, and
Sure.
because 80% of the people watching this won't know what we're talking about. Presumably, there's enough to make a percentage. Uh, uh
I don't want to make the jokes about like how we're only gonna get like 3 viewers because I feel like that's too easy.
I
That's
know.
low hanging
I
fruit.
can't help doing it because I feel stupid when I go the audience because it's like I think everyone probably has everyone who makes like things that get viewed by people as a purpose, like that's the role
Hmm.
of the content being created, that's its purpose, is to be viewed by an audience.
Hmm.
Anyone who has like less than 100 people watching probably has this period in their like creation days where they're like, I feel weird referring to it as an audience. I feel weird
Sure.
referring to it as a community or whatever because it's so small and it makes you feel like a poser or like a weirdo, like a
Yeah,
wannabe.
I get you.
But it's also like what you're supposed to do because hypothetically this could reach that point, or it's
Yeah.
just etiquette at that point. It becomes like one person is still an audience.
Hmm.
And
I think it's
yeah,
important that to like see yourself in the way you want to become rather than where you're at the moment because that brings in the idea that we're actually building something that's going to become something big someday.
yeah,
So I don't want to be like making the jokes about how we're only gonna have a few viewers because that becomes such a niche like sentiment.
hmm
I want I want to
it dates
continue to
it.
refer to it as the audience and
I will.
pretend like there's this huge community because I that's the goal kind of, right?
Yeah,
Like obviously
self-fulfilling
we're
prophecy.
yeah, self-fulfilling prophecy and the like the and it's kind of going back to what you just mentioned about how like every creator who like doesn't already have like some form of like basis for their like obviously like if it's a big YouTuber or something that then starts a podcast, they already have a developed base.
Hmm.
But when it's like pure raw starting at zero type stuff, like as you said, there is that period where we're like we know that there's only a few people watching, but it's I think it's important um for the medium that we have to kind of I guess try to do our best to pretend like that doesn't matter and that's not
Yeah,
involved at all. Because if we constantly are like, well, we have this many viewers, we have to make this sort of joke and try to get people to come and watch. Like, obviously that's the goal, but it becomes ingenuine.
Yes, 100% agree.
Because our whole thing is like we're doing this because we enjoy just sitting around talking and creating this sort of
Yes.
thing. And that's just how we have to focus it on. The audience even being a thing at all is like that's that's a separate that's a whole separate thing. And like your thing with like marketing and stuff, like we have to be able to separate marketing from content creation.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
The best content is stuff that you feel like when, especially like this type of, not the best in general, but the best when referring to like a podcast that involves like, because our doesn't have, feel weird saying like refer, our show, yeah, our, it doesn't have an objective or goal. We don't talk about the news. I guess we could, but we
Yeah.
don't have a thing that we stick to or
Yeah.
a genre per se.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I was talking to my mom about this because I was
Very
explaining.
nice
She's
lady.
like, "What are you doing? What are you?" I was like, "Oh, I was airing my grievances with like trying to think of like ideas for names and shit because that's we sat thinking of the name forever, so
Mhm.
it took a long time to even come up with this name and this idea. So when you have a show that is two people talking about shit they experienced like that day, that week,
Mhm.
stuff they saw on the news, it thrives solely off of it being two people having a conversation. And it has
Yeah.
to feel like that shit they do any other day. Like they don't know the
Mhm.
camera's on. They don't know that they're talking to an audience, they're recording. And while we've already broken that rule by referring to it, this is
Of
an
course.
first episode, and we're learning. There's even like that. It has to, if it's two people talking about shit they want to talk about, it has to feel real because you can't pretend to be interested in a conversation when you're
Mhm.
having it because that sounds boring and lame. And I've watched podcasts before. They You can tell the guest doesn't want to be there. They're there to
Mhm.
promote something, or it doesn't feel like they had I think it was the H3 podcast. They had like Bill Burr on. Fucking nightmare of a podcast because he didn't want to be there. He wanted to
Mhm.
be there because he was promoting something on like his like it was like a show on Netflix or something.
Mhm.
And the H3 podcast he has bullet points and shit he wants to touch on, most of the time it's just him riffing and talking to people. That's a perfect example I feel of like it failed because it felt artificial when it
Sure.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like the best in this environment, the best thing to do, the best content comes from natural conversing.
Mhm.
When you have to plan every single word because you want to make it peak marketability, it ruins the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Y-
So.
Yeah. No, and I agree entirely. I think it's all about um situational awareness and understanding what's going on, and not trying to be something that you're not.
Mm-hmm.
But something you mentioned made me think, made me remember something. So you're talking about how like the the basis of our conversation and the our podcast is just about how like we just talk about things that are going on. And I just remembered something that happened at work Friday that I wanted to talk about. So I work at a like plumbing and heating and cooling supply place where we get in stuff and we then sell it to we like bulk buy from the main distributors and then sell it to the local community and shit like that. And I was walking through the office and I heard one of our employees uh, say, "I'm just a salesman. I don't know anything." And that made me think like salesman is the most pretend job that has ever existed.
Salesman?
Yeah, it's like
I could see
it,
that.
it's it has no fucking purpose. Like jobs like farmers and carpenters and mechanics and shit like that, those have like a like with those jobs, it's like I do this thing because it provides this good or service. With salesmen, it's just like I buy shit and then sell that shit for more money.
Yeah, it's
It's it's so fucking bullshit.
it's one of those things where it's like it only exists because there are people like salesmen. They like think of like a used cars salesman. Like
Hmm.
his role is to get a car, make sure it works, and sell it for a profit. When people can just go to like Craigslist, do
Yeah,
the same thing,
yeah.
and it's like it had a purpose before the internet when you could like go to the source, because
Hmm.
then it was like, oh, used car, how are you going to get a used car before the internet? You have to go to a used car salesman, and that's how they existed because that was their purpose. Now it's like, because there's no salesman for like a dealership. What are they going to sell you on? The specs? It's like people know what they want when they go to a dealership. They look at
Hmm.
the car and they go, "Ah, oh, it's brand new and it's a car. I want this car." Well, are you sure you want this? No, I want it. I already looked it up online, all the specs and shit. Like it's a I feel like it doesn't die solely because there are still some people who like it, dumb tax, right? Like some guy's
Hmm.
gonna be, well, this one's got four-wheel drive, like that's special.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it's a job that like it I love the best jobs are jobs that could still exist if we were back in like a bartering system. So like farmers and mechanics and shit like and carpenters, the examples I've already given, those could still exist in a like a bartering system because it's like okay, you have like I will fix your car and in exchange you will give me fruit and vegetables so I can keep living.
Yeah.
But in like a monetary system in a very I don't want to go too far into this because I don't want to like alienate a portion of the audience, but in a very capitalist society, salesmen only thrive and become a real job because of the basis that like this is something I could do that is low effort that will make me money.
Yeah, because I guess you could be a salesman in a bartering system. This th- this
Well,
this system is worth three fish. I mean, look, it got Jim down the river, right? You know, Jim, he needed a boat. I got him a boat. Guess what it cost him? Three fish. I'm just saying, it's a deal, right? Because those are the guys. They're selling it for like six, seven fish, right? I
yeah,
got you down to three fish. It's insane. And then actually, the boat's like piece of shit, maybe worth a fish,
yeah.
maybe. And that's like, is it really a fish? And he's like, no, no. Okay, you don't want to pay three fish? Three, no, six bushels of berries. Like, it would still exist, but it has less of a grasp because people are like, I don't. I
I'll
feel like
just go to gym and get a fish.
it's because, yeah, it's like I. I mean, why couldn't I just? I need that. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you have to be really convinced that it's something you need because you're giving resources, not it's paper that it says it's worth something. I don't know why,
Mhm.
because everyone else thinks it's worth something.
The value of a salesman in that like
It diminishes greatly.
hypothetical and realistically is it's not about the need for a salesman. It's all about the salesman ability to pretend like there's a need for the salesman.
Yes,
It
salesman
li-
in a society with money, a salesman is a salesman. In a
Mhm.
society with bartering, a salesman is a con man.
Yep. Yep.
Because in a society with money, you're not giving money is a separate entity from
Yeah.
resources. It is a resource technically, but it's a separate entity. And so
Yeah.
it doesn't function as like you can get conned by a salesman, but not all salesmen are con men. But in a bartering society, all salesmen would become a form of con man because you could just go to Jim who has like six boats. Take one of
Yeah.
his. He'll if he needs 6 fish, he'll say the price is 6 fish. He's not gonna pull some reasoning out of his ass to convince you. If he needs 6 fish, that's the price. Take it or leave it, bud. It's
Yeah.
way more genuine. But unfortunately, we don't trade with fish and berries and logs. We
I wish
trade
we
with
did.
paper money. And it says it's worth something because everyone else thinks it's worth something. So
I really wish we still traded with fish.
you do. In Alaska and stuff, there's some places that like small businesses will take stuff like that.
Yeah.
They call it the last frontier for a reason. They do some weird shit up there.
I like those places, like, they still exist, but they're a lot less prevalent, of course. But it's like, if you bring them, like, food, they'll prepare it in a way for you. So, like, if you bring in the fish and you're like, will you cook this fish for me? Like, I love places like that. That's great.
What would that be called if it was its own place? Like if it wasn't. What's the name of an establishment that's its sole purpose? Is if you bring us ingredients, we'll cook for you, for a fee. What would that be? It's not a restaurant.
It's a form of restaurant.
A kitchen for hire.
It's a kitchen. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a kitchen.
It's a restaurant, but you get to pick literally everything. And you hope they know what they're doing. You really do, because if you bring them like Cheetos, Mountain Dew, and like scallops, and they're gonna be like, I don't know what to do with this, man. I'm not gonna lie. What the fuck is a scallop? I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what a scallop is. I actually
You don't know what a
genuinely-
scallop's like?
Is that those small little onions?
No.
No, what is that?
Scallops
That's
is
a shallot.
Like,
Shallot
it's
is
a
a small
seafood.
onion.
Yeah, shallots are small onions or whatever. Scallops are seafood.
Scallops are seafood. Okay.
It's like a shellfish.
It must.
It's very good.
Did you know there's a difference between shrimp and prawn?
I believe I did know that, but I don't know the difference.
Me neither. I heard about it somewhere, and British people refer to all shrimp as prawns, but there is technically a difference. I don't know. I think it's like how many legs or something. They probably taste identical. I mean, if it eats shit off the floor of the ocean, I'm sure it tastes the same.
It's like whiskey and bourbon, how they're like the same thing, but they're technically different.
Yeah. Also, didn't know this till I started working at Price Chopper, but yams are sweet potatoes.
Yeah,
I had no clue.
I didn't know that for a very long time, and I think I like learned that like a year ago.
It's interesting because if someone refers to them as yams, they exclusively refer to them as yams. But if you refer to them as sweet potatoes, they're exclusively sweet potatoes. So it's really easy to think they're different.
Yeah.
But then someone will show you one and they'll go, "This is a yam," and you're like, "That's a sweet potato." They're like, "Nah, it's a yam." Like they'll think it's a sweet potato is different. Like no one. They're so like divided in their what the thing is.
Yeah, it's like that reminds me of like the idea or the concept that like the colors I see are different than the colors you see.
Yeah.
But like what's green to me is not green to you, but we both think it's green because it's always been green to us.
And everyone else says it's green.
Yeah.
Because you've assigned the right thing.
Yeah.
Color to name.
It's like, oh, that's green. And the other person's like, yeah, I know that's green. But like to them, their green could be my red.
Yeah. And my first thought is you could disprove that though. Like, what color is this apple? And then I'm like, wait a second, you can't, because then they'd say it's red.
That wouldn't work.
You're right.
Everybody'd be like, oh, it's red.
red.
And then we're all just like, yeah, that's red.
Yeah. I also remember hearing that the way you described it is one way I seen. Another way is like birds can see colors we can't see because they have different like structures in their eyes and shit. They described it like that too, where it's like your green is a green I can't comprehend. It's not like my red.
Sure.
That's another way I've heard it. That's the way I choose to think of it because it makes more sense. Because I think the other one, people would figure it out eventually. But
No, I don't actually believe in the concept I described with the color. I just think that that was something what you said reminded me
yeah,
of.
technically, we can't disprove it or prove it. It's literally impossible. It's kind of like a god. You can't really disprove or prove a god. It's like one of those concepts where it's like there's no way to test it. Literally no way. How would you test that if you perceive a different
Yeah,
color or not?
I think it's all just about how like, oh well, colors are dependent on how much light come or whatever
What
gets
reflects?
reflected,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, but that that science is still based off of the idea that that amount equates to the same color, where it's like our
Mhm.
eyes could work differently in a way
Yeah,
that we don't
that's
understand.
that's where it's like different. Like your brain and eyes as a combination could perceive it completely different in a
Yeah,
way I can't physically or mentally comprehend. It's beyond anything I can. So like you
yeah.
literally can't be like, oh well, like it's like trying to describe red to someone. Like how?
Yeah, the closest thing you could get is like, well, red's like a warm color, but
Like,
that
well,
doesn't
what does
really
that
work.
mean?
Exactly, that doesn't really work either because it's like that's still based off of our preconceived idea of what differentiates warm and cold
Yeah,
as a color.
you can only describe it as warm if you can see color, because say you see in grayscale and someone goes, yeah, red's a warm color, and they're like, what do you mean warm color? Like, how does a color be warm? Does it radiate
Yeah.
heat? Like, it's like they just it if you can't see color, your brain can't figure out what they mean. They can't make those jumps because it's never
Hmm.
experienced that stimulus. So it's like, yeah, every human sees red and gets hungry. Like that's a thing apparently. I don't know why, but that's a thing. So that's why like restaurants they'll be cold and red. If you go to a restaurant, usually it's colder and red, and it's because it
Hmm.
makes you eat more. So if someone can't see color, they don't they can't make the connection that red makes you hungry.
Hmm.
They gray makes them hungry. I don't know. If they see grayscale, no one sees grayscale. But if you see grayscale, you can't. It doesn't work. Like it's something you literally can't comprehend.
Hmm.
And that's why when I'm gonna, I was about to like make the jump like it makes sense, but I'm gonna acknowledge that this jump make no sense. And that's why I don't like people trying to prove religion based off of the book that is the religion. There we go. I was gonna like make that jump like it makes complete sense, but it
No,
doesn't.
I understand the through line. It's a very, very thin through
It
line, but
is,
I get it.
yes. It's a similar concept of like, and it's not me bashing religion. I'm not alienating
Sure.
audience here. I'm just saying, if you get in a discussion about the existence of a deity, your proof for the deity can't be the book that says the deity's real.
Yeah.
That's like me saying, unicorns are real, and they go, well, prove it to me. And I go, because it says so in this book I read when I was 4.
Yeah.
It's like you can't do that. Like
Yeah.
that is a pet peeve of mine. But it
Yeah.
very rarely happens. I've never met anyone like in person that does that. I've seen it online though in
Oh yeah, I've
discussions.
seen it. I've seen it online. I've seen it on like the news and shit like that, where it's
Yeah.
like, God is real. Well, I don't believe in God. It's like, well, the Bible says God is real and God did all these
But
things.
I
And
don't
it's like,
believe in the book.
I
It's
don't
like
believe in that either.
it's like, well then you're going to hell. It's like I can't what but that doesn't
Yeah,
that's
it's
like
like,
that's I
aren't you
think
worried about going to hell? And it's like,
it's like well no
no,
because
because
they
I
don't
don't
make
believe
that.
that that's real.
It's because you have to like if you like step in their shoes, right? They to them it's like saying trees aren't real. It's like what do you mean trees aren't real? They're right there. Like that's how they see that. So
Hmm.
when you make that connect like that's why I try to like when I experience people who are like ultra religious cuz I my relationship with religion has fluctuated through life. And when I experience people who are ultra religious like to a point of like like Bible thumping like Westboro Baptist Church type shit, right? Like when I experience that, I don't feel bad for them because they're assholes usually, because they usually have some really old school ideas, right? But like
Sure.
I can see why they think that way, because you have to jump in those shoes of like, to them that's reality. It's like telling someone, it's like telling a scientist, like, it's like a scientist like, I don't believe in oxygen. And the scientist is like, what do you mean you don't fucking believe in oxygen? Like, well, I don't see it. I can't see it. I've never seen it. You know, it's not real. It's like,
Mm.
it's the same shit. Like, you can't, that's to them, it's
Yeah.
reality. That's like saying trees aren't real, or you don't believe in trees. To them, they're like, what the fuck? What do you mean you don't believe in trees? So I
And
see where they're coming from. So I don't immediately jump to like, how are you so stupid? Because that's their entire reality.
yeah, and just so it's clear to anyone watching this,
Yes, yeah.
we're not saying that you're stupid for believing in
No, no, no. Yeah.
God. We're saying it's a stupid idea to use like religion to justify or like to
You can't use your religion to prove your religion.
prove religion.
Yes. That's
Yeah,
like saying
you can't.
scientists don't go, oxygen's real because I saw oxygen and it's real. Like, it's the same jump. It's that logic.
You can't use a belief system to prove a belief system.
Yes. Yes. Because if you want to get technical, uh yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
It's like you can't say the tree is real because the tree is there. I guess that makes no sense. It's hard to compare it to other things because there's not many. It's like you can't say the best show on the planet is Breaking Bad, and my proof is that Breaking Bad exists. It's like, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, same logic, and people do that with Breaking Bad. It's not exclusive to religion in any way.
No, yeah.
People do it to a bunch of shit, and it's my pet peeve is using something to prove something, but it's the thing you're trying to prove.
Hmm.
This probably sounds super stupid and roundabout.
I feel like this is one of those things where
We understand.
we
We're having that.
I think a lot of people understand, even though the words we're saying and the structure we're saying that may not really make sense.
I also feel
People
like
still get the sentiment.
I feel like we're getting too serious now. I'm like, oh, I feel like, I don't know, like it's gonna be kind of cringe because it's so serious. It's like a serious topic. It's like, oh, I feel cringe.
We're probably alienating like all of our audience.
I hate doing that, but also it's jumping back.
It-
Let's jump back.
yeah.
Natural conversation, right? We would be having this if we weren't recording. We'd still be having this shit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
It's real. It's
We
fucking
have to be
raw. This shit coming from the soul. I'm hitting my mic. I'm sorry.
That's the only. I won't promise you you'll laugh or be entertained, but I will promise you that everything you hear is genuine.
I'm not making shit up, and I'm not pretending to believe shit for content.
Yeah.
I will do that, but you'll know if I'm doing it. Like, it'll be obvious if it's like for a bit. Okay.
Yeah.
I hate being self-referential. I'm referencing.
I like how the episode has been like our first initial plan for this episode and our first recording was all about icebreaker, like getting to know us so that people can understand what we're about. And it's like we're not doing that. We're just talking about dumb shit that crosses our mind as we continue to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
the
how they
best
always
way.
go. If you go back to my fucking early podcast episode, I was tempted to make a meme earlier, and it's that, the Grim Reaper knocking on the doors and there's blood coming out of the other ones. I was gonna do the LTAS podcast, the Wacko Fan podcast, the Shamble cast, and then it's knocking on the door of this one. The end, like it's coming through, because it's like, oh no, everything I'm on dies slowly and painfully. It's like, oh no, I feel so the doom and let's hope fourth time's a charm.
Fourth time's a charm. Let's go.
Technically third time. I'm kind of counting Shamblecast as a different thing from the Wacko Fan podcast, but I just changed the name. It was the same shit.
Yeah.
But
Well, there we go.
you know what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying. But Yeah. I was like, I'm sensing a coming dead zone, and I'm starting to make monkey noises.
Yeah. I'm trying to like my brain's scrambling to like think of a
It's
new topic, think of
it's
a new
because
topic, think of a new
I
topic.
got really kind of like self conscious about I all of a sudden started like reviewing what we were talking about earlier, and I was like, oh no, I feel like I'm imposing my ideas on the audience, and I don't like that. But that's me being self conscious because I overthink everything. I'm
I'd like to
constantly thinking.
I'd like to think, and I know this is a very bold assumption on the internet, but I'd like to assume that any potential audience we have is smart enough and individual enough and confident enough in their individuality to uh, understand that we're just talking about shit. We're not like
I'm not a
presenting
professional.
we're not professional. We're not presenting any of our information as fact. We're just talking, and whatever comes out of that is whatever comes out of that.
It's I very much. Do you know who Joe Rogan is?
I yes, I do know who
Joe
Joe Rogan is.
Rogan is if I could he is id. Joe Rogan is id. That is what he is. He is only the id.
That's
There's
a
nothing
callback that
else.
the audience won't
No,
understand.
but if the audience understands like psychology or any
Yeah,
base level, they'll understand what the id is. And I'm not going to
yeah,
explain into depth, but it's like instinct essentially.
yeah.
That's why when he gets like in trouble, I'm like he says some fucked shit sometimes because
Sure.
but you have to look at it like this guy has explained on multiple times. He's like, guys, don't fucking listen to anything I'm saying as any form of important statement. He's a self-admitted monkey brain dummy who has no idea what's going on 80% of the time. So that's why when people get like pissed at him because he said dumb shit, it's like, yeah, be mad, but like you have to look at it like if you knew about that thing, like you wouldn't. If you knew about like the show within any capacity that he runs, he's just sitting there listening to some dude talk and going, like, and I'm comparing that to now. Like, I'm just riffing, I'm just
Yeah,
talking.
don't
I am
don't take
no
don't take the shit we talk about seriously. We are just making noises, basically.
shouting into the void that is the internet
Yeah.
and hoping the void shouts back, but it won't.
It's like a
Because
Nietzsche
we're talking
quote.
to a screen, and that makes you can't talk to the screen can't talk to us.
Some
But
the shit about looking into the abyss
and
and
the
the
abyss
abyss
stares back.
look back at you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's some deep shit. I don't know
That's the
what it
internet.
means. The internet is, I think. Can I say something really? I'm gonna say something that sounds pseudo deep and like I'm 17 and this is deep bullshit.
All right.
But I think the internet is the thing that will lead to us destroying ourselves. And I think it's because humans evolved with the purpose to communicate,
Mm-hmm.
but we evolved with natural limits on that communication, location, um, how many people you're near, etc. Now you can shout to the void, and the void shouts back. Before, you were a crazy idiot shouting into the void.
Mm-hmm.
Now that crazy idiot has 6, 7 other dudes who are also crazy idiots, and those idiots have other idiots that are just like them. And I
Uh-huh.
feel like that's like, where do you think QAnon came from, right? Like, I'm not afraid to alienate those assholes, okay?
Sure.
That shit,
Yeah.
that's literally dude, flat earthers, right? That only can exist because of now, that movement, because of
Sure.
the internet. People are allowed to communicate. And I wholeheartedly believe I'm not a professional and I'm not a smart person, self admitted. I think if humanity destroys itself, a core factor of that will be the internet. If we do. I like to
Sure.
think that I'm hopeful and we're going to like do cool shit and go into space and stuff. But if we destroy ourselves because of nukes or some shit, internet has something to do with it. Calling it now.
Also sidebar, Christians, you're cool. You can hang out. We're fine with you entirely. Uh, flat earthers, go fuck yourselves.
Does
Basically,
uh do
that's what I
Christians have
gain.
something to
That's
do
what
with
I
QAnon?
what?
Did I say Christians?
No, we were talking earlier about
Oh
religion.
yeah.
And
Religious people,
the
no matter what, even if you're
no,
like, I don't know, Scientology, even that, like, go ahead, do what you want, man.
whatever. That's
But
fine.
like,
But
QAnon
if you're
is genuinely destructive to society in a
yeah,
negative way, and flat earthers are just annoying. So, so that's I'm not afraid to alienate those people, but I don't think
that yeah.
I don't think we'll get many of those. So I think we're good. Uh,
I hope we're good. I don't want to start attracting QAnon and flat earthers.
I think it's impossible because we've immediately shit on them. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone we're gonna watch this and go, they just called me a fucking idiot. They're my type of people.
Maybe, maybe.
Maybe. Hey,
I don't know.
stranger things have happened. Stranger things. Uh, I kind of want to jump off of the QAnon shit.
Sure.
Jump off, not in like I want to get away from it because I have no problem ragging on those assholes.
Sure.
But
As you've established.
yes, is there any conspiracy theories you believe in?
So there's a
That aren't proven.
recent. All right, I'm on TikTok. I don't make videos, but I watch it every now and then. There's a trend. Don't have that face. There's a trend there's the whole TikTok thing is like you can stitch videos where you take a chunk of someone else's video and then cut it off and continue it with your own video or whatever.
Yes.
And there's a trend where there's some dude is like, all right, what's one conspiracy you 100% believe in? And then people are like stitching that with going into their own conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
And oh shit, what was
Is it Mattress Firm?
Mattress Firm. No, it's not, but I want you to start talking about Mattress Firm while I try to think of what my conspiracy theory is.
Okay, so anyone who doesn't know, Mattress Firm, this is really popular because I think it was Shane Dawson. I think he popularized this. But someone came to him because he did like a conspiracy. Did he get canceled for something? I don't know. He might have.
He's gotten canceled multiple times.
Anyway, I don't watch his stuff. I just know it kind of it popularized because of him. But it was this theory that Mattress Firm has so many locations in like the same areas because their sole purpose is money laundering. And I genuinely believe it because in my town there's like 3 mattress firms within 50 miles of each other. Less than 20, 10. I don't know why. You can find them. And when you go in, me and my friends went into one just because we were like, this was when this was a hot thing. We're like, we got to go in and see if there's anyone actually in there. It was a weekend, like Saturday at like 4 p.m. Empty. What store at 4 p.m. on a Saturday is empty? That's weird. That's so weird. It was dead empty. And we walked in. 3 dudes were sitting at this desk in the center, and they all fucking locked eyes. They were like... And when we left, they like kind of went... Because it's all glass windows, so you could see. So we turned around when we closed the door, and they kind of like... I started talking again, and it was like I genuinely was like scared because I was like, they looked completely normal people until you walked in, and it's like if they were in an RPG, their level was hidden, and then you walk in, you aggroed, boom, level 50, and you're level 10, and it was like these people are dangerous, and I genuinely that experience that is real shit, bro.
I love that theory, and I'm fully on board with it now.
It's real. Hey, when that became popular, the head of Mattress Firm stepped down.
Did you really?
Within like a month or something. I'm pretty sure.
That's awesome.
Or like the company that owns Mattress Firm, because it's not like a big conglomerate. It's like, yeah. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm okay. Grain of salt. I might be talking out of my ass. I'm pulling this from memory. I can't type because I unplugged my keyboard, so I can't look it up. But I'm telling you, shit's real.
I actually have a few conspiracy theories that I'm kind of on board with. I'll talk about Okay, so I fully believe that the United States government uh, basically killed JFK. I'm fully
Oh,
on board with that theory, and the biggest one of my JFK is one of my favorite presidents, one of my favorite political figures in history because I feel like he's the only president that has actually been a person of the people. I know there's a lot of reasoning behind a lot of people don't like JFK and the whole shit about how he was kind of bred and built for political
yeah, the
aspirations,
Kennedys.
the Kennedys and everything. But one of my favorite Kennedy things is it's Operation Northwoods, I think is what it was called. I'll look it up after this video. But what it was it was the War Bay of Pigs era when JFK was president, and the I think it was the head of CIA, or yeah, I think it was the head of CIA, or anyway, they came forward, or it was like some big military figure or whatever. Anyway, they came forward and were like, they proposed a plan to target and kill American citizens
Yeah,
and then say that Cuba did it to justify a war with them.
yeah.
And JFK, it completely passed. Like everybody was down with it until JFK was like, no,
Who
fuck that. We're
who the
not
fuck
doing
was
that.
down? I feel like
What the fuck is wrong
there's
with you?
no way modern, even like the scummiest modern politicians, I don't think would even attempt that. Like that's so brazen.
Mm.
There's no way because
Listen,
they may agree with it, but they wouldn't try to put it through. I guarantee because now people are too wise. We're too smart. Dude,
I
people
don't know.
people no, there's no way. There's no way.
There's a lot of evidence that points
I'm
to
talking
some to George Bush on some things.
I'm talking like now, not 2000, Bush did 9/11 stuff, okay? I'm talking like now, I'm talking like the year of our Lord, man, like
2021.
2021. This shit wouldn't fly because now, especially post Trump presidency, I think we got a fucking eyeglass on these people. We're like these
Yeah.
sketchy shits, bro. They're doing some fuck shit, and we got a
Well,
fucking laser eye.
the thing is, they are, and they always have been. So I'm fully on board with people becoming more aware to
Yeah,
some of the shit that goes
100%.
on. Yeah, I believe JFK was assassinated by the U.S. government.
Do you think? Never mind. I was gonna like ask some like stupid question about like what's his name, Lee Harvey Oswald.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
I was gonna say, do you think he was CIA? No. Yes, Lee
I
Harvey
think
Oswald. I think he was working with them.
I think a lot of I think there's I think the idea of a fall man is one of the oldest fucking tricks in the book, and
Yeah,
like it would be so fucking easy for the government to be like, this person did it. We're gonna imprison them, and then like not do that,
hmm,
like not like go through all the pomp and circumstance, and then be like, hey, by the way, here's the keys to this remote mansion in fucking Argentina. Like, just go do that.
yeah. I think that it's. I think they still do or try to do that, but that is definitely like I think to think that it's just him just doing that on his own while realistic because Garfield existed. uh I think it's there's so he was so like he was very like he in the CIA didn't vibe, like everyone didn't they didn't like each other. There's a
Hmm.
lot of shit that's like I don't know.
There's plenty of reason to be suspicious.
The only problem is there's not evidence really. There's
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense, but making sense isn't
it happened
evidence.
like during the JFK files bullshit, where like some shit came out and that was like, oh yeah, Hitler lived past World War II
Oh, is
and
that
was like,
confirmed, or is this like a
I
conspiracy
listen, I
BS?
don't know entirely, but I was reading, I don't know. I was just reading some shit online. I'm not taking it as 100% fact because I don't fucking know exactly. But there was the whole like thing about how like apparently some files revealed that Hitler was alive and like was in South America and like lived into the 60s and like the United States government were like keeping an eye on him, but of course never did anything about it.
Why though? Why wouldn't we? I don't understand. Especially at that time, like that was like time for like America to be like big dick, like fucking kill them all. Like, why wouldn't we?
I think the belief system is that like he would
That
like
I
he disappeared from the bunker where he supposedly killed himself with like after making a deal with the US government.
uh to end. I guess it would be maybe to end the war faster.
Maybe or maybe just like
Paperclip.
maybe he knew that like
Is that the right?
he knew that he was
Yeah.
losing, so he could have been like, "Hey, I'll like we'll just basically let this fold over and like I'll just dip and y'all cool with that. Like I won't fight you guys anymore. Like I'll just let you guys roll over us real quick." So like I don't know. And like with that and everything, like I'm gonna reiterate the point. I'm just talking. All I was saying to wrap that up is like we've already said before. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
talking. Don't I don't know. I mean, I encourage the audience to like think about things more deeply and understand that there's a lot of shit going on that people don't tell us and the
Mm-hmm.
public is not privy to. But like,
I feel like it's dangerous because people are. I don't trust people enough because people are like. There's always like the extremes. It's like, hey guys, be a little wary of the government. That translates to a lot of people as don't ever trust them ever. They're literally trying to make a new world order and eliminate, I don't know, people off the planet. I don't know what they think the end goal of this group
or
is,
yeah,
but whatever. And I just don't like how conspiracy theories, a lot of them need to be looked at because a lot of them have a lot of weight, but a fuck ton are total BS. Like,
sure,
oh
and I
yes,
understand that,
the space is fake.
and that's yeah, no, that's why I'm making the like the the
Disclaimer.
statement of like yeah the disclaimer that like I don't know and that's the whole point. I don't know and you don't know, not
No,
just you, the audience.
yeah,
Nobody fucking knows. There's so much shit that goes on that nobody tells us and that isn't exactly public information. So like yeah, just be wary of the government. And not just the government, be wary of every single like big like corporation or organization or system that has a bunch of like weight to it that largely goes unchecked
yeah.
because
It's
that's shit's dangerous if you just let
you.
shit be like
Mm-hmm.
the
Be
US government's fine, so we're just that's fine.
be wary, but don't be paranoid.
Sure, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
be like look at Google. Like, hey, Google might be doing sketchy shit, but like, don't be like Google's. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, don't be like
don't.
I'm gonna go live off the grid because fucking everybody's watching me and all the like
It's like
just calm
Google's
down.
done some dumb shit, some sketchy shit, and they're probably doing illegal stuff, to, to save money, make money, skip out on taxes, some other weird shit, you know. But I'm still going to use the search engine.
Yeah.
It's like the government might be doing sketchy shit, but I also think that we need them so we don't, kill each other. It's like there's be aware that there's more to than meets the eye, but don't let that run your life.
Also, I think a funny thing
Did you turn a
is like
fan on?
a little segue. I did not.
Oh,
Can
okay.
you hear a
It went.
fan?
It went away. It was like a static. Continue.
Oh. Um, I love the people who are like anti-COVID vaccination.
Oh yeah.
Also, you might want to blur the word COVID because YouTube does not like it when people say that word.
Hey, we're fucking laid into it. I think we're fine.
Anyway, um, I love when people are like, I'm not getting the vaccine because they're gonna put a microchip in there to um, track us. And the
Yeah,
whole thing
sure,
is
bud.
like, want to know about the government tracking you? Uh,
For real.
they passed a fucking like decree in Congress during the presidency that lets them get into basically whatever the fuck they want. So
Yeah.
like, if if that's how paranoid you're gonna be, literally go live off the grid. Get destroy all fucking technology you own because
Yeah.
boy howdy, let me
Like
tell you something. They're already tracking you.
the government doesn't need a microchip in your arm to
Yeah,
watch you, influence you, anything. They have it on lock already. They don't need to do anything more. Shit's
yeah,
they gotta trust me. They're good at their job. Okay, so like, it's like also when you get the shot, you can watch them do it. There is no
yeah,
technology advanced enough that can put a microchip in a needle that fucking tiny and be like competent of anything. Like no,
yeah.
I literally watched them go in my arm.
Yeah,
It that's not physically possible. I'm sorry.
the microchip would have to be like fucking microscopic and perfectly clear.
And not move through your bloodline and then get absorbed by your body because your body absorbs shit like that.
This universe that technology exists.
No, yeah, we've already reached a point. Oh, you're frozen by the way, but your audio's still coming through.
Okay,
Uh,
well,
they're looking at you. Looking, you're very intently staring at the camera. Um,
it's because I'm really I've mastered the art of standing so perfectly still
yeah,
that I'm basically invisible.
it's pretty crazy.
It's a it's
Uh,
a reference.
we
It's a,
we've yeah, I get the reference. We've already reached a point. We're starting to it unfroze. We're reaching a point. We reaching a point. No, we are reaching a point where things are starting to lose the ability to get smaller. Like we're starting to reach a point where, like in the
Mhm,
future, wires and stuff are so small that we're limited to only a single electron at a time.
mhm,
Like it's that small. Like it's bottlenecked now by the size of electrons, and
mhm.
it's still you can see it. It's like the size of a grain of rice. Tracking chips exist, but they're like you could see them. They're big and they leave a
Yeah,
lump on your skin. Like they exist, and people have made them because people make shit for fun.
yeah.
It's not physically possible. It's not.
Humans have way too much time on their hands.
Yeah, we make dumb shit. Most of the time, they're used for. There's companies that put them. You put them here, and you can scan into things instead of having like a key card. It just goes
That
beep.
is that is some cyberpunk new world shit that
That
I am
is.
totally on board for.
I want my wallet on my arm. I just kind of scan things and pay. Beep. Like that. That'd be so
I'm
cool.
I'm
Beep.
actually super down to just be like, dude,
If I could, I'm. I am willing to
I'm gonna cut you off for a
embrace.
second. I'm gonna cut you off for a second. That shit would like be so bad though, because like I guarantee you, fucking people would like,
Hack your arm off and use it.
yeah, or not only that, but like hack into your like, be like, people would go for handshakes at like formal gatherings and
And they
be
have.
like,
Yeah. Beep.
ah, I'm stealing all your information.
Shake your hand. Pull your hand away. Bank balance is $0.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that. That honestly, that's cool as fuck.
It is. It
It's
really is.
cool, but also spooky. But I don't think we'd ever do that solely because it's just too risky to have like your arm tattooed to pay for shit or nano machines, whatever the fuck. I think it's just too
Yeah.
risky in general. Like the system we have now is fairly secure, and I don't think like how often do people get their banks hacked and all their money stolen? Like Very rarely. If they get all their money stolen, it's because they put their shit on a website because they're idiots.
Yeah.
That's like, and if they do get your money stolen from a bank, the bank will reimburse you and stuff. So it's like if there's a data breach or something. So
Hmm.
like, it just seems like I feel like we've kind of optimized shit too much to. You can only do cool cyberpunk if there's limitations. Like in the world of cyberpunk, the internet doesn't exist because like a bunch of it was unregulated for too long and too many people like hacked and virused it up, so it just kind of got wiped out. So there's no internet. So that's why the world is the way it is. There has to be a
Hmm.
limitation for cyberpunk settings to exist. Like the limitation, people lacking the foresight to not tattoo their wallets on their arms. That's the limitation. Like no one would do that. No one would. What we would do is like a contact and have like Google Glass, but in your eye.
Hmm.
That'd be sick. Like you
Yeah.
look like a tool, but when everyone looks like a tool, then no one looks like a tool. So then everyone doing this, like walking down the street. What are you doing, Fruit Ninja?
Yo, that'd be so cool though to be like.
Won't you like it has like AR built into it, augmented
Mhm.
reality, so you like see the sword in your hand. That'd be so cool.
Yo, that'd be so good for porn.
It would. Immersion.
Okay, sidebar, because you purchased the game and I have not, but I've thought about it. Is Cyberpunk 2077 worth it?
No. Um,
Okay.
I pre-ordered it like the day it was coming out. So I pre-ordered it before it came out just because I wanted to buy
Hmm.
it so I could download it early and play it when it came out. Because before it came out, no one knew it was buggy. The reviewers were like, "Yeah, there's a little bit of bugs, not that bad." Blah blah blah, which was kind of disingenuous. I feel like they felt obligated to hype it up. And when it
Hmm.
came out, I played like the first bit, and I'm it isn't as buggy as everyone makes it out to be if you're on PC, solely because a lot of the issues arise from bad hardware. So
Hmm.
all that footage you see of like it literally being unplayable is from the Xbox One base edition and the PS4 base edition.
Hmm.
Even PS4 Pro and like the Xbox One X struggle with it, and then the Series X and the PS5 run it fine, as good as it can run.
Sure.
And PC, even my like relatively low spec PC, I had very little bugs, but what there is just corners being cut. So you'll see an NPC, you'll turn around, look back, the NPC is just a different person because they despawn, which everything despawns in like every video game. When you don't look at it, it's not there. It unrenders to
Hmm.
save processing power, but it doesn't have the ability to save that character. So like you'll look away, look back, and that big chunky dude with a mohawk is now a lady, and it's like and you could see her pop in because it's not
Hmm.
fast enough. And then there's also issues with like you will say you shoot like in GTA you can like just shoot people. Say you do that in
Yeah.
Cyberpunk, right? The police just kind of materialize behind you instead of like driving up to you because it's literally because they said that's weird. It does it every time you. Oh, it's doing it again.
Where I'm frozen.
No, no, no. It just stops.
Static?
Yeah, it's just like static. It's almost like I can hear a fan. That's what it sounds like, but there's nothing going on, as you said. So I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it's just a lot of corners cut, and it's because the publisher said, "Hey, you've delayed it for too long. Push it out." And so they had to push it out with so many corners cut that they can't fix it with patches. Like the police will always be like that. If you're
Hmm.
gonna buy it in like 3-4 years, and maybe it'll be thrown together. Like I tried to restart it recently. I restarted a new save, made a new character. It's also just boring.
Hmm.
It's not a good game. It's bad. It's a bad first-person GTA. That's what it is.
Hmm.
And GTA is no gem either. So it's take
All
that
right.
as you will. So I just
Sure.
derailed our entire conversation
No,
to
I
talk
think that
to
was
rant
fine.
about. I feel like I've burnt my money. I genuinely was angry. So
Hmm.
I'm venting a little, but yeah.
All right. I will not purchase it then.
Do not know. It's not fun. If you
I
need it,
wasn't really planning on purchasing it, but I've seen it and been like, I wonder if that's good.
mm-hmm. A good. Do you like story games with a semi-open like hub world, but there's like missions? It's like sounds oddly like I sound like I'm like describing a specific thing, but it's more common than one or two games, if you know what I mean. Like you walk around a hub world, but then every
Yeah.
once in a while it's like go to this phone booth, take a call, and now you're in like the main mission. But you can also do like little side missions. But once the game ends, the game's over. You can't go back. It's like
I I
it's like
I
GTA, but when the game ends, you can't play it anymore unless you
uh
restart it.
uh generally no, that's not really my type of game, but I I can play games like that and have fun.
I was just saying, like, the best version of what Cyberpunk kind of is, not what it was trying to be. It was trying to be GTA, where you could just do whatever the
Hmm.
fuck you want. But what it is a really shitty, futuristic FPS Yakuza.
Yeah.
Because as I said, I got Yakuza 0, and what I've played of it, it is it is, it does what it does the best. Nothing can do what it does any better than it can. Where
Hmm.
it's like the way the game is structured. So, yeah, if you're looking
I
for a game like like a first person game to just
hmm
play, I recommend Yakuza 0. That's the beginning of like the 7 game series.
hmm
It's not the beginning. It technically came out later, but it's beginning chronologically.
Sure, yeah, I
Uh,
get you.
I recommend that. Control's good. It's similar, not similar at
I
all, but
I was looking to scratch my Cyberpunk itch. I on the the summer Steam sale, I bought uh, a game called Ghost Runner, which is like
that's a good looking
cyberpunk
game.
cyberpunk parkour action type game.
Yeah.
I have not played it yet, but it looks good and I've heard only good things.
Yeah, I've seen gameplay. It's like do you know how Titanfall 2 had that, like, I don't know if you have even seen that game. I don't know how
I
involved
played
in
a
video games you
very,
are.
very small amount of Titanfall 1.
You know how that game played? You know, like running around and jumping off walls and shit?
Yeah.
It's that, like Ghost Runner, if I'm not mistaken. I'm thinking of the right game. It's that game. It's that mechanics, but that's the entire thing. Like that, it's around that.
Hmm.
And you get to do sick sword shit. I think I'm thinking of the right game. It
Yeah,
looks
yeah, yeah.
cool. It looks cool. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. The main dude has a sword, so I assume that's yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
What?
probably gonna I'll download it sometime.
Mhm.
Play it.
What games have you played that's not Call of Duty or Fallout 4?
In my entire life or recently.
Not recently. I know you haven't been gaming besides COD, so I guess I'm thinking like what's like when you think of like what games have you been playing that's not, multiplayer or have played like
Okay,
traditional like linear like kind of like how God of War is structured, like
sure.
that
Um,
type of game.
I mean, Last of Us is one of my favorite first person games of all time, or not
So,
first person. Single player is what I meant to say. It's one of my favorite single player games of all time.
why
Haven't
did
played Last of Us 2.
sorry I
Um,
why didn't I just say favorite what single player games? Why did I word it the way I did? Never mind.
uh, I love the Elder Scrolls games. Oblivion is my probably my favorite of the series because I have good memories on it. Skyrim's obviously great. Witcher 3, very, very good game.
I've not played
Um,
Witcher 3.
you should. It's very, very good. It shouldn't be full price at this point, so you should go ahead and get it if you can. Um, what else? I I used to play like played Shadow of the Colossus a lot when I was younger. Honestly, I don't historically I haven't played very many single player games.
Mm.
Like I've been big into Call of Duty and or at least I play a lot of single player games, but they're not story driven. Like I play a lot of roguelikes, like Slay the Spire, Binding of Isaac, Monster Train, shit like that.
I can't get into roguelikes because I like progression but like permanent. Like the resetting when you
Yeah.
die type of thing. I don't know. To me it feels like I'm working towards nothing. But I'm a
Okay, I get
weirdo
you.
who likes to collect and hoard, so progression is like that's why I like COD so much. It could be the worst game ever if they have things to work towards. That's my shit, bro.
Well, I think you could still like Slay the Spire and Monster Train and even Isaac in certain ways too, because like there's still like one of the big things about Isaac is like you fill up post-it notes.
Hmm.
So the post-it note is made up of little icons that you unlock when you beat certain like final bosses and if you do it on different difficulties and shit. So you can still there's still that progression in a way because you could
Yeah.
still fill those post-it notes. And in Monster Train recently, there's like a whole you have a book that has like you get special banners if you beat the game with a Hellhorned base deck with an awoken assist.
Did I hear the word deck?
Yeah,
Is there cards?
it's a deck builder.
Ain't happening.
You don't like deck builders?
Card games, anything that has to do with cards, like not like real, like not like poker cards, but like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, Hearthstone. Even if it's like, as you said, deck building, like you use cards to attack. No, I'll play 5 minutes. Can't do it, and it's
I
because
think you're egregiously limiting your
no,
ability to enjoy games.
I've tried a ton of games like that. I just can't get into it, and it's because I like to press button and my guy goes and I attack with it and it's and I can control it and run around. I don't like. I have the right deck. I don't.
Have you ever
I
played a
can't do
fucking
it.
have you ever played a Pokemon game?
I have, and I when I was little I didn't really play them. I haven't been able to get like I love Pokemon like as a concept. I love the cards too, like collecting them because as I said, materialistic and
Hmm.
gaining things. But like the games themselves, like I've never been able to super get into like the games because turn-based combat is I don't know. But what something I can get into is strategy. So like you move your characters on like the board kind of
Hmm.
and then the enemies have a turn. That I can do because it's just enough interaction. But like boxes of text you hit, I can't do it. It's because I'm too I need my games to be games.
I think you're
with
I
like
think
I like to
I think
win.
I think you limiting your definition of what makes a game is
Well,
preventing you from enjoying so many different
well,
types of games.
no, I've tried a lot of them. It's just I just can't get into it.
Yeah, I think the root of why you can't get into it is because you're like it's not
No,
satisfying because I'm not actually like controlling the character.
that's yeah, and I that's the root. I can't just change how I want to like that's I just like games where you do the thing. You don't press the button and the character does the thing. I like that's why I like fighting games, even though I'm terrible and I don't play them as much as I used to because when you're that bad, it just like yeah, I'm gonna play
You should
single player because
download
when I go
Slippy
on,
so
I
we,
get fucking shit on. But
you should download Slippy so we can play Melee.
I I'm not as into melee as you are.
You just said you like fighting games.
Yes, I don't have to like all of them. I like melee, and it's the one I grew up with. But I like ultimate better because
I
it's
won't pl
cooler, and you can
I
like.
won't play my fucking main. I'll play like low tier
It's not
characters.
about losing either. It's just I don't. I feel like melee is like such a smaller game, and I feel like ultimate is the same thing but with more. Because I don't.
It,
I'm not like advanced enough to like. Oh, I like the tech. Like I don't care if there's more advanced tech because I can't do it. So to me, it's just a. It's just the same game but less things to do. Like I when it comes to like Smash, I'm ultra casual. That's why I always got shit on when we played in tournaments because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You know who I played with when I was growing up? My sisters, and I won every game. And I was
or
pressing
get
buttons randomly.
get rivals. I have
I
rivals. You
have
can play
rivals.
rivals.
I have rivals.
Let's play Rivals.
We'll play it. I'll get shit on because I don't know anything. I just hit buttons and I like to see the character do the cool thing. I'm the definition of a fighting game casual. I like watching it competitively, but I don't care to learn the mainly tech. Like Smash has tech, like 2D fighters. It's less tech and more just getting better at the. It's like it's not like taking advantage of the engine like Smash. It's more like it's built into it for like that purpose. But either one of those I can't do.
Do you want to get Guilty Gear Strive and learn that together?
I will learn Guilty Gear Strive with you. If we like, we should like every episode we update.
Yeah, update how good we are at Guilty Gear. I will actually like buy it right now.
Episode 357. I still get fucking bodied in casual lobbies. I'm the lowest rank possible. I actually have a Guilty Gear game on my PC, but it's the one before Strive. But I will get Strive if you get Strive.
I will download Strive like right now.
Well, I won't because if I touch anything, the recording will stop. But I will get it today.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd be willing to try it just for like, kind of like the bit. But I guarantee, it's just one of those things. I don't. Function.
I hear it's good.
It's supposed to be really good. Does it have rollback?
I believe it does.
I think so.
I've heard that. I think it does. Yeah.
Speaking of rollback, have you heard of the Nickelodeon fighting game? It's a Smash clone, and it has rollback. It has rollback.
That's
and
hilarious.
It looks really good. It looks like a genuinely good game, not like a cash grab. Because the guys, guess who's made it? Guess who made it?
The guy who made Doki Doki Literature Club.
No, the guy who made Slap City.
Oh my god.
Do you know what Slap City is?
I do know what Slap City is.
That is insane. Of the team, not the guy. I'm assuming it's more than one dude. But
can I add it to my? Why do you not have my information already on my shit? Oh, because I changed my password. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
I guess I'll download it after this episode ends.
Yeah, because then all of a sudden you're gonna like bitrate's gonna.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, reverting back to the previous point. That's why I'm like, people are like, when I see people like, Melee's the best game and don't even bother with the other ones, it's like, when a casual like me hears that, it's like, what do you mean? What? It's the same game. What are you talking about? Like, literally, the only different games, like, of the Smash series, Brawl is significantly different. And it's because they did the stupid, like, when a casual notices that something's amiss, you fucked up. Because the trip mechanic was annoying and stupid.
Yes.
When I was playing,
at least we can agree on that.
Dude, everyone hated it. You can't not. It's your character, you'll just run and your dude will. It's like, what the fuck, why?
Yeah, that is the most, like, that is the mechanic in any game that is the most, like, why? What is the point of this? Why did you put that in the game?
It's like how in Mario Kart, the reason Mario Kart never became competitive is because since the first game, it punishes you if you're in first and benefits you if you're in last.
Yeah.
So it's never been able to reach competitive status outside of like speedruns and stuff. So it's like Nintendo is very much against competing for things. And I think it's because it goes against their like family values BS.
It's so dumb.
The only game that they've tried to support is Splatoon, and it's like you kind of can't like not support it. You can't not support it because the game itself is a team-based shooter in light terms. And then ARMS for like a month.
Yeah.
And then Ultimate once, I think. They had like one Nintendo Run tournament, and that was just for promotion, and they acknowledged pros exist for like a week when they brought like the one who diddled kids on. What was his name?
The worst part is like,
I forgot his name.
You could be talking about a lot of different Ultimate players.
He had a YouTube channel, and I actually watched his stuff before that stuff came out. Obviously, I think it's deleted now. Was it Zero?
There's a lot. No, Zero. I think Zero's fine.
Was it?
But
It might be.
Nairo got
It
into
might
some
be
shit.
zero. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up.
Okay, I know Nairo got into some shit. I know Ally got into some shit.
Hmm.
I think Salem is not super great. I don't know. I'm getting into a niche category where like not a lot of our audience is gonna know what we're talking about.
Oh my god. It might have been zero.
That's
He was
rough.
sending messages to minors. Also, he's not having a fun time right now. Like a month ago, he had a suicide
Ah,
attempt. Ooh. I watched his
ah,
stuff. He had good content. That sucks. Too bad
that's
he was
rough.
grooming minors.
Yeah.
Uh I mean, you can't I can feel bad to a point, but there's limits. I can't feel bad for a groomer.
Yeah, yeah, me neither.
It's like no one should, like attempt that stuff, but don't groom minors, man. Like, come on.
Yeah, don't do that.
Fuck.
Don't do that.
I'm not gonna lie though, the memes were so funny.
That's awful.
They were. It is, but I can't dude. The fucking. It's like an edited video of two Fox players bouncing around. It goes Smash players when the prize is a 17-year-old.
Oh
It's
God.
so bad. It's so bad. I felt so bad reading it, but I was laughing so hard. Ugh. But it's a sat. I wonder what it is though. I wonder why. OBS froze again, but I'm just gonna go with it because last time it was fine. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? It's since we were talking about sketchy shit, and OBS went. He's like, what? It fixed
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah, that's awful.
Okay. Well,
On that happy note,
yeah. What? I don't know how the fuck to end it off of talking about a dude grooming.
yeah, no, that's horrible.
How did it naturally progress? I guess we started. It's funny how we talked about Smash and it just jumped to that. Oh god, the fucking.
I hate people.
I hate the world
I think
sometimes.
that's the biggest takeaway from this entire episode is like I don't like the world we live in.
Sometimes life's a cruel joke. But yeah. Well,
Hopefully future episodes are going to be more lighthearted.
yeah. And actual serious pin on something we brought up like 5 minutes ago. The Strive updates. I'm into it. I think that's a fun idea and a cool thing to do.
100%.
I will download it every week, I think, or it's every week or every couple weeks, depending on how we do it. We should have a little segment about like Strive progress.
Yeah.
We have to do at least one online game and tell how we got either bodied or won, and see how we
Yeah.
can improve. But yeah, I think that was a great first episode. So, any final words you wanna say?
Um
Don't groom
no,
minors.
I'm just glad we're finally doing this. I'm excited for the future of this show of ours and yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks. If by some miracle you made it this far in the episode, I love you.
I do too. Big hugs and kisses from from Drew, unless you're a minor.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I can't stop. It's funny. I gotta bring it
That's
back.
rough.
Okay.
That's rough.
Thanks
All right.
thanks for watching, and
Thank you, everyone, for watching.
you have a good day.
Why do we